Welcome to my tasty art expedition, everyone. I'm Artifacts, and in this video, you're going to learn how to draw anything using my very own GOAD method. GOAD. I use this absolutely every time I confront a blank page in my sketchbook, and it never lets me down. Before we dive in, let's quickly talk about pencils. If you have a snazzy set like this, you'll notice the pencils have either an H or a B, and some have numbers alongside those letters. Why is that? Well, all pencils use graphite, and using harder graphite gives you lighter lines because less of the graphite gets onto the paper. These are marked with H for hardness, and the higher the number alongside the H, the lighter your sketches will be. See how light this 4H pencil is? On the other hand, softer graphite gives you darker lines because more of the material gets onto the paper. These are marked with B for blackness. This set here ranges from 4H to 6B, but go ahead and use any pencils you've got. For this GOAD method, you'll want some lighter lines, but we'll mostly achieve that with our pencil grip. Which brings us to our first letter in our GOAD method, G. G, as you've probably guessed now, is for grip. When you first start to sketch the subject's basic shapes, you want to grip your pencil closer to the middle or even the end. This makes your pencil marks lighter because you're using more of your wrist to guide the movements. Notice how loose and free I'm able to draw these lines and circles with this position. On the other hand, when you're ready for details, you'll grip the pencil closer to the point. This gives you more control and your pencil marks will be darker, like this. Next, we have O, which stands for outlines. Before we outline though, let's look at our subject and get a feel for the basic proportions. If you're drawing a person, and I'll use this guy here for my example, look at his overall size and shape. Then, look at things like the length of his legs compared to the length of his upper body. I'd say that both are just about equal, wouldn't you? Next, look at the size of his head in relation to his shoulders. It looks like the width of this guy's shoulders is about the same as the distance from the base of the neck to the top of his head. Basically, we're just getting a feel for proportions all over. Now that we have a good understanding of that, we're going to start by simply drawing a rectangle to frame his overall shape. We'll just use some light, simple lines by gripping the pencil near the middle. After that's done, we can use those measurements we glanced at earlier and draw quick lines to mark key areas like his waist, which should be near the middle of the shape here. I'll continue to sketch more lines to draw out other shapes based on proportions, like the head and neck. The next letter in this method, A, represents angles, and it comes into play here too. While we continue to sketch lines to break up our shape, let's think about the different angles. For instance, this guy's shoulders aren't exactly horizontal or straight across. You can see the angle down to the left a little, so let's lightly draw a line at that same angle. His left arm is also angled up from his elbow toward the center of his chest. Now we can spend time on the details, which is our D. I always recommend saving details for last once the basic outline and structure is finished, because it'll make our drawing more accurate. Let's grip our pencil closer to the tip and spend time refining existing lines and adding new ones. Lightly add more lines at appropriate angles to really draw out the important parts of the figure, like this guy's head and facial features. At this point, I can call the sketch done and move on to other poses if I'm doing quick studies, or I can refine this even more and spend time really focusing on details and shading. It's up to you. I think I'll just add a little more detail to this. And there we go. Not too hard, right? This works well with all types of subjects, so let's quickly draw some random things using the same method. Well, that's my GOAD method for drawing anything really. If you got something out of this, give this video a like or a comment, and be sure to subscribe for more. Until next time, thank you for watching.